So, I don't know if you guys can hear the drums that are playing. It's so loud, and I don't think the video picks it up. I'm just on my phone. As loud as it is, it's like echoing through the canyon. But they've been playing like at least 5, sometimes like 8, 10 hours a day, every day for like over the last week. So let's just say shooting videos, doing sessions, getting work done at all has been interesting, to say the least. So I thought it was a good time to talk about how I deal with frustrations. Because man, like having a set plan, because I've gotten really good at making my plans and making sure they were working really well and they're like effective, and I plan out like different days where I'm working on different things that make the most sense and all of that. And even with all the planning in the whole world, things come up, right? Sometimes it's a drum fest that you could have never seen coming. Sometimes it's an illness, right? Sometimes you get really sick and that throws everything off. Sometimes something breaks or your motivation just crashes or something happens, and things always happen, right? Always. Like, to try to prevent things from happening it's not gonna work really, because life always happens. So I think one of the biggest protective factors in staying sane in all of this is developing flexibility, right? Because if we're flexible and we're able to just change things and let things go and move on, man, it makes such a difference in all of this. And it's not easy, and even like I'm shooting this video because I'm trying to work on this now. Sometimes like I'm overall really flexible, especially because most of the work I do is online and I've traveled to different places and things just come up and you never know what's gonna come up, and traveling helps you get pretty good at dealing and adapting with all of that kind of stuff. But I still struggle sometimes, especially when it interrupts me for a long period of time, like these drums, right? They really have thrown off all of my my plans and my work. And it sounds dumb to say, but it really does impact a lot of those things, right? And it also reminds me of talking to a client recently who has been really ill for like 2 weeks, and they can't figure out what's wrong and what's going on, and that has thrown everything off. So her to-do list keeps getting longer, she just keeps getting more stressed, and everything just keeps building up and she can't do anything about it. So there are these things that come up that we can't control, but learning to be more flexible and adaptable, man, it makes such a difference. And not taking this personally, like not taking these as our own personal failures, but realizing that this just happens, and adding more stress and frustration to it is just gonna make it worse, right? So we have to figure out how to adapt and be flexible and still keep kind of pushing on and really trying to move forward as much as we can, right? So that's the thought of the day. Letting things go, rolling with the punches, right? Just being able to kind of regroup and also understand. I think that the understanding that things always change helps, and that definitely really helps me. That just know that everything always is changing, and that's just the way it is. So there's also a level of acceptance. Like when something happens, like, okay, yeah, this happens. It's really frustrating and not ideal, but I'm gonna deal with it, and I can deal with it, and I'm just gonna adapt and change, and that's okay. So the acceptance that everything's not gonna go perfectly, but also the belief that you can keep going and you can make it work, that will make a huge difference and make it a lot easier to get through all of this, instead of like the struggle, because otherwise we can just continue to struggle and stress and be mad and angry. But in a lot of these situations, there's nothing we can do about it. So if there's nothing that you can do to change it, then the best thing you can do is try to adapt and work through it, and just try to kind of be okay. Because otherwise you're just adding stress and pain for really no reason, because you can't fix it, you can't help it. So those are my thoughts for the day. I hope everything goes as planned for you guys, but if and when it doesn't, know that we're all out here in the struggle with you, and we can just laugh at it, cry about it, and adapt and move forward, right? And support each other as we go through all of this. You hear that?